審査書の案をこの通り取りまとめるということを了承してもよろしいでしょうか。はい。
はい。じゃあ、もう一問ですね、ちょっとオンラインで入っておりますので、FA 通信のマリア・ローランさんですね。それじゃあ、私は代読しますね。Could you give us more details about the evolution of the supervision of the Japan government's plan to release the treated water of Fukushima Daiichi into the Pacific? What was the specific reason of this visit? What has been the issue addressed, and what is your current vision of the plan and its safeness based in the investigation until now? Could we expect a future visit in the near future of the IAEA to advance in the supervision? When and what will be the next steps to be inspected? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the question. Indeed, ever since the accident took place in March 2011, the IAEA started working with Japan in assisting on the emergency first, and then with the passage of time with the decommissioning activities. And as of lately, on the issue of the treatment and disposal of the accumulated water around the stricken reactors. Knowing that, 2 years ago, precisely, during my first visit as Director General of the IAEA, I proposed to the then Prime Minister, Abe Shinzo, that in case Japan would consider starting this process, it would be appropriate that the IAEA be involved. As I said it, and I have been repeating this, before, during, and after the process. Before, to make sure that every technical aspect is adequately covered. During, to be able to corroborate that the activities are done in a way which is consistent with that, and after, in evaluating the impact, if any, of the discharge, the controlled discharge of the treated water into the ocean. So there has been, and there is, an ongoing process. For this purpose, I set up in the IAEA a dedicated task force of agency experts, supported by a group of world-known, experienced, which are assisting us in this process. We have already carried out a number of missions. After each one of those, we issue reports that are publicly available to ensure maximum transparency in what we do. This year, we will have yet 3 more missions, which are covering different aspects related to the safety, the methodologies, but also regulatory aspects, dealing directly not only with TEPCO, but with the NRA, the Nuclear Regulatory Authority of Japan. This week, I could see progress, but as I said, this is an ongoing process where a lot of work still needs to be accomplished. We are moving in that direction, as I indicated, in full transparency, and we will continue exactly in the same way in the weeks and months to come, until the process starts in earnest, probably next year. But you must remember that this is something that will, a process that will last for decades to come. It will be a long process that will require meticulous work, and in this case, the constant presence of the IAEA. And I'm sure this will be the case.
Thank you very much, DG Grossi, for this opportunity. I'm Takeshi Tsuchiya of Kyodo News. Let me ask you about the Fukushima treated water issue. You visited the site, and we saw the messages from your messages from the site, and we are glad to know things are going well. But you know, the science and the reasons do not always solve problems. And I'm afraid the Fukushima is the case. So if you could point out what Japanese government could do to persuade the fishermen or the neighboring states like in our region, could you talk about that? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Very important questions. I proceed from the principle that every serious, honest concern must be taken very seriously, and every effort must be made to address it. This being said, I would make a clear distinction between regional countries and the local population. And let me explain why. The main objective when it comes to a country that may be close to here, and this is why the IAEA's presence is so important, is that whatever is done here is compatible and fully in line with the international standards that all countries have accepted, including those who are expressing preoccupations. So this is very important, because we are not operating here in a vacuum. For these countries, or any country, what they have every right to demand is that the international standards are complied with. Nothing more, nothing less. In addition to that, I made sure that in my technical teams and in the groups of experts that are working for the agency, I expressly saw to it that experts from regional countries are participating, not as observers, not as chroniclers of what's happening, or just out of goodwill. They are part of the process. I attach great importance to